it's completely obvious to me that I would make time for the people I love.
Who is that?
I would start with my family, especially my sister. I'm now really close to her, but through a bunch of the Airbnb journey, we would go weeks without talking. For no other reason, I was just busy. And and there's this paradox that when you go on this crazy journey like I do, a lot of people don't reach out to you because they're afraid to reach out to you because they think they're bothering you. But you're so busy that you're dealing with inbound from the business that if no one, like, you're just reacting all the time. So if your friends don't reach out to you, you're not going to reach out to them because you're just reacting to everything. And they're like, well, they're so busy. If they want to talk to me, they reach out to me. You see how you end up in this like drift and drift and drift. I would have stayed connected to my high school friends. I would have. I have high school friends I now do an annual trip with. Some of them I didn't talk to for almost 20 years. I graduate. I didn't keep in touch with them. It's one of the great regrets I have. I had college friends that I lived with after RISD, but every year as I went on my Airbnb journey, we talked less and less and less, and I drifted more and more away. And I could go down the list. I had this thing I talked about it once before, but it was 2021. It was like May or June, and I had developed at this point, long relationship with President Obama. He had left office and he became a bit of a mentor to me, and he mentored me on like leadership and business. And at one point he took a personal interest in me. And I remember I was single, got out of a relationship, and I kind of felt lonely. And I remember telling him, I think I need to be in another relationship. And he said, I don't think you yet need to be in a relationship. I think what you need are friends. And I thought to myself, but I have friends. What do you mean? But then he explained that like he had these like 15 people in his life, many of them before, mostly before he was president. And they were totally connected. And I realized I had all these people in my life, but if I called them first, they go, what's going on? Like, what's new with you? And I have to get them all up to speed in my life. And if you have someone in your life where if you were to call them or text them, you have to get them up to speed, then you're not connected. People you're connected to are already up to speed. And I actually think that most of us being alone or being lonely is an illusion. Or maybe the illusion is that like people don't love us. And the fact is we have all these people, but we're not reaching out to them. And they're also not reaching out to us. And everyone's waiting for someone else to take some initiative. And it seems crazy because we're just a text message away from our entire life. And yet, what do? We open the phone, and instead of texting people or FaceTiming them or like seeing them, what do? Open social media? So opening social media is like going to a dinner party, except you don't go inside, you're looking in the window. And it's great if it's a way station to meet people, but if you're just look in the window and that's your social life, then you're going to feel really sad. So knock on the door and walk in and start talking to people, start hanging out. So that would be the thing I would do. I wouldn't have been totally isolated. I would have stayed connected to my family, my close friends, and really the only other thing I'd say is I'm now friends with a bunch of other entrepreneurs, including you said you had Daniel Ek on the show. And I would call him a friend and I spend time with him and others. So in other words, I would keep my old friends and I would be friends with people in my situation. So Daniel Ek doesn't know the Brian before Airbnb. So maybe he doesn't know the real me, that me, but he does know a different real me that my childhood friends can't know, because my high school and college friends can't possibly know what it's like for me to go through what I'm going through. And I can tell it to them and they can have compassion, but they can't possibly know what I'm talking about. But Daniel can. And Daniel can know what it's like when an executive leaves you, where everyone's the walls are caving in and you feel like you're not scaling and you're like drowning in this. There's all these things I can describe. We have a shared experience. So I think those two groups are really important. Your roots and your friends from the past and your friends from your present day shared experiences. And